What's up, weirdos? I'm Felicia and I like scary movies, and today I'm talking about what might be my new favorite film of 2022 so far, and that is X by Ti West. Now, before we get into today's video, I did want to mention that I have some new merch items. So I have these Horror Movie Club member t-shirts. I have some What's Up Burritos t-shirts. I have a new Girly Gore print. If you're interested in any of that, it is the link down in the description box below. Thank you so much. And to those of you who heard me talk about it last week on Horror Movie Club and already bought stuff, thank you so much. Please send me pictures of you wearing the merch because I will cry with joy and repost it. Now, Ti West. So I first heard about Ti West when he directed House of the Devil in 2009. Not that I actually saw that movie when it came out, I'm pretty sure, but I saw it years later. And that movie is definitely an homage to the 80s in a similar but very different way that this is an homage to the 70s. Now, I'll keep this review spoiler free until the last section of the video. I will give you a warning and then I'll give you a couple of spoilers at the end. But let's get into the plot. In 1979, a group of young filmmakers set out to make an adult film in rural Texas. But when their reclusive elderly hosts catch them in the act, the cast finds themselves fighting for their lives. So this movie is absolutely a love letter to two golden ages in the 70s, porn, smut, whatever, and slasher films. Like, this movie to me feels like if Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre had been about some really awesome characters that happen to be in the porn industry or something. But yeah, all the 70s aspects and details in this movie are just amazing. But let's get into what really made this movie for me, and that was the characters. Like, he created an exploitation film. It's a slasher, boobs and blood. They're literally making porn. But he gave me characters that I care so much about and got to know each of them individually. Like, it's just amazing. It's amazing. I loved it. So first of all, we have the actors, of course. Mia Goth plays our leading actress of Maxine, and she's this young girl who wants to make it big in the film industry, right? She wants to be a star. She wants her name to be everywhere. And she is just so mesmerizing to watch. Like, Mia Goth just has something about her where you can't look away from her eyes. She's amazing the start to finish. Britney Snow. This might be my favorite Britney Snow role I've ever seen. She plays an adult film actress named Bobby Lynn, and she is the most confident, amazing, funny, dynamic character. And these two women, just to start us off, is what I loved about this film. They're two women that are working in the adult entertainment industry, and they are complicated, well thought out women that are doing this because they want to. No one is forcing exploitation of their bodies upon them. They're doing it for their own reasons, and it's nobody else's business. And they are strong and confident in those choices. And there's something about that is just so cool to see, especially when we're thinking about this being an homage to the 70s where exploitation, it's boobs and blood, right? Boobs and blood with nothing behind it. And to see these in-depth characters in this kind of film was just so cool. And then of course we have Jenna Ortega, who's playing Lorraine, who's doing sound for the film. I just, I love her. I loved her in Scream. I love her in this. She is such a genuine, she's so sparkly. Do you know what I mean? There's something in her eyes when she's acting where whether she is screaming or laughing, there's something sparkly about her and you're just drawn into her. But I just love her in this as well. And now for the men. Kid Cudi playing a 70s porn star is just amazing. He's so good, honestly. He's so smooth and he does a great job. And I don't know him as an actor, but this was excellent acting. And then Martin Henderson, who plays Wayne, who I was watching an interview with a few of the actors in Ti West, and they were talking about how the character of Wayne could have been played as this gold tooth, pimp, if you will, hair slicked back, whatever. But Wayne is also like a complicated character that is like, you know, in love with Maxine, and despite his job doesn't seem to really think about women just as objects. I don't know, there's something about it. And then Owen Campbell, who plays the indie filmmaker RJ, who's trying to make this adult film something artistic and special. He's very sweet and sad in this. And he's also in that movie My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To, which is pretty good too if you haven't seen that. And then the next thing we just have to mention is that this is just a gorgeous masterpiece horror film. Like, it's doing a lot of interesting things, but at the end of the day, it's a great slasher. The gore is amazing. The kills are creative and exciting. And I did see this in theaters, which I really, really highly recommend it. And by the way, this is like very cute, but so I went to go see it by myself, and I ended up sitting next to another young girl about my age who went to go see it by herself. And I was like, hi, like, what brought you here? And she's like, oh, I just love horror movies and A24 films, but none of my friends like want to go see gory stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, you and I would end up sitting next to each other. This is so cute. And we like both love the movie. But anyways, that was like a side note. But what was so fun about seeing this in theaters is like the moments of tension, the gross out moments, the jump scares, like everything was so well crafted that it was so fun to experience that roller coaster ride with a bunch of other people. Like, there was multiple times I yelled out. Like, I was like, whoa! Or like, I was like, oh, no. Like, I could not stop myself from reacting vocally. And with everyone else in the audience doing the same thing, it just was so much fun. And the last thing I want to mention that I was just thinking about after watching this movie is sort of this theme of youth and beauty as power, and how women as they age can feel as though they are losing part of their feminine power over time because they are no longer young. And though I think age brings about a different kind of power in itself, but I think it was an interesting conversation they were having in this movie between Maxine and Pearl, who I'm not really going to talk too much about their stuff until I get to the spoiler section. But it was an interesting conversation about that, and then also about like age and sexuality. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting themes going on in this slasher movie. Ti West is kind of a genius. I mean, it's just true. Okay, obviously I loved it. Go see it. But now let's get into the spoiler section of this video. If you haven't seen the movie yet, turn this video off. I'll see you after you watch it. But if you've already seen it and you want to talk spoilers, let's go. Okay, obviously we have to mention, because I was just talking about it, that Mia Goth plays two characters in this movie. She plays Maxine and Pearl, the old woman that ends up being kind of the murderess of this film. She plays the protagonist and the antagonist, and it's just kind of genius. And even though, like, obviously I know I'm looking at Mia Goth in makeup, it was still extremely effective because you have kind of Mia Goth as a young, pretty youth. What? And then as this like falling apart old woman, and you're seeing these two sides of her fighting back and forth with each other, and her literally fighting herself. And there's something about that, and like women fighting themselves, their older selves and their younger selves. I don't know, but I thought it was cool. And they've already filmed, because Ti West is just so smart, they already filmed a prequel to X while they were in New Zealand. They had Mia Goth stay an extra however many weeks because they already had the set, and they filmed a prequel. I think it's called Pearl, and it's about Pearl's story, and that I'm just freaking excited for. And apparently it's already going to come out sometime this year, so I'm just like, what? Like, will it be good? I have no idea, but I'm excited. Okay, now I'm gonna go through the kills. I don't typically do this in my reviews, but I don't know. This is a homage to 70s slashers. The kills are creative. I want to go through them and how I felt about them. So the first one is RJ. He gets killed in this. It's so gorgeous. This is what just freaking amazed me about this movie. It's so beautiful to watch. But he's like in the headlights of their van, and Pearl stabs him repeatedly in the neck and to almost decapitate him. in the headlights of this van, and then we see her in front of it, kind of in this, there's so many Texas Chainsaw references in this movie, it's out of control. But something about seeing her there in that lighting and like watching her kill him, it just is like amazing. And then Wayne is like stabbed with a pitchfork in the eye. That was fun. I liked it. It was good. I also liked that he was wandering around in his underwear when he got killed. That was also kind of funny. Jackson, I mean, unfortunately he was just shot in the chest and it wasn't so exciting, but he did great the whole movie. So it's fine. His kill could be a little lackluster. Bobby Lynn was eaten alive by an alligator. I mean, that was amazing. And then Pearl's just like, I never liked blondes. Like, it's so good. So good. Lorraine, well, she did get her finger smashed at one point, and then she was just shot with a shotgun and like blasted to the face. It was crazy. And then Howard, I haven't even mentioned him in this whole video. I'm sorry. But Howard, who's Pearl's husband, throughout the movie is just like, you know, I can't have sex because I'm going to have a heart attack if I get too excited. And then during all of this fighting, he has a heart attack and just dies like that. It's so simple, but I kind of liked it. And then Pearl is eventually killed by Maxine, our final girl, of course, by running her head over and over and over again with the van or with the truck. And it is just, I mean, it's great. It's gory. It's disgusting. It's amazing. And now I want to mention the most horrifying thing of this entire movie that I'm just trying to wash from my eyeballs. And I waited for the spoilers because everyone deserves to go in as blind as I was. But the old bodies having sex and Pearl's character with her old body like stroking Maxine's body. There's so much of that in this movie that it just makes you so uncomfortable. And I'm sure that just because you get old doesn't necessarily stop being a sexual being or anything, but the way they show us old bodies having sex in this is so disturbing and upsetting, and you just want to cover your eyes even more than the gore stuff. It's just wild. But yeah, I think that's it, people. This movie was awesome. I really hope you'll go see it in theaters if you can. And if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice scream. Bye.